And I actually have no insight on that. Alex, do you have any at all?
No, I think most ad networks would be fine with that, as long as you just tell them what your site's about. And I think a lot of these ad networks have the control, like you mentioned, so that the advertisers would be able to say that they don't want to advertise on a site like that, and then you should be fine. Because at the end of the day, not so much here, but over where you are, that's a growing industry, isn't it? And a growing market. And, it's not such a controversial topic anymore, I don't think. I think
No,
most ad networks would be fine with it.
no. And to tie it back to shut down and shelter in place and stay at home and all that. The I'm in Colorado, so marijuana, weed is legal. I can go down to the store and like just it's so close I could walk to it, and they will stay open like liquor stores,
It's like an
cannabis
essential
places.
shop, yeah.
Yeah, gun shops. I mean, all the big hits, like those places stay open because basically they don't want to run on those kind of shops. So literally, those places will stay open, and they did last time. So they are essential. It is
Yeah.
essential to have those open. So all right, Karen says, does anyone know how much traffic you need to add a second site to Ezoic? And I believe someone actually chimed in. Tortoise Cashflow said that they added a second site with less than 1,000 visitors, and if you go through their training, then you don't need any traffic on the second site. So, Alex, do you have any insight on that?
I don't know. I
Okay.
haven't been with it long enough.
I think I've heard something to that effect, and pretty soon I'll have one of my friends, Tyler, the CMO over from Ezoic, to hop on the channel. I need to give him a shout. He's been on the channel before, but I can have him answer questions since he actually knows the answers to these. So, good
Yeah, that
question.
sounds like a good idea.
Next, we have Harold. Do you do anything special for your home and blog pages with SEO or Yoast SEO? So, Alex, what's your take on that?
No, I just would set the usual stuff, page title. The thing with home pages is they're not really the most important. They are an important page, but in terms of SEO, really the optimization happens on the articles more than anything. You'd probably just set your page title and your meta description. Obviously, your page title would include your main keyword. So for my website, Best Roof Box, the page title is Best Roof Box Guides, whatever, because I'm targeting the keyword Best Roof Box, and it does pretty well. But other than that, I wouldn't worry too much about that. A lot of people nowadays are ditching SEO plugins altogether, aren't they? So
Yep,
I
and
don't
I
know.
haven't used one in quite a while. And I mean, really, like you said, if you could just rank for your brand name, hopefully, you have a keyword in there, maybe. But if you don't, it's no big deal. So if you could rank for your brand name, that's a good thing to do. Okay, moving on. Tortoise says your DA went from 59 to 59 in 4 months. Actually, so that is not correct. The domain rating of the links that I got from Niche Website Builders was 59. My domain rating for my site is still, I think it's 5. So it's
Okay.
5 right
So you've
now.
not seen any increase on that yet, but that's going to take a little time, isn't it?
Yep, and I haven't. I'm interested to see how quickly it'll climb up. The URL rating, the UR is actually like 25 at this point, so it'll be interesting to see like when it comes through. Plus, the links that niche website builders are building, they're going to internal pages. They're not going to the home page. So it's kind of interesting how this is playing out. I do some other link building that really is more associated with blog commenting and some other promotion in that area. So that's probably why it's moving up in the URL rating. But how far along are you in your
We
skyscraper
haven't done
campaign?
anything yet. So we've literally just got to the point where we're adding the content to the site on my site. So they're doing all the illustrations and stuff now, because that's the other really good thing, to make this content really special. They don't use any stock photos or anything like that. They create bespoke artwork and all sorts of things to make it just look fantastic. So we're just at that point at the moment. But I think you've been using another company recently, haven't you? Is it Stan? Am I right there, Stan?
Yep, it's so I tested out
Stan Ventures, yeah.
Stan Ventures, and it's more of a guest posting and link placement versus, like you said, with the skyscraper campaign, you get a great piece of content, and then it's link building to that great piece of content. And Stand Ventures, they've done a pretty good job. It's a big company out of India, and they sort of have, I think, a couple team members maybe in the U.S., but it's mostly out of India. So you end up with, pretty reasonable guest posting link placements versus some of the more expensive, really
Well, I think
SEO
it's good just to
agencies.
bring that. I mean, I've been talking to them as well, but I think they found me through you actually, because the thing with niche website builders, they offer a fantastic service, but they are not cheap, are they? They're not cheap. They're high end. So
Yeah.
I mean, Stan Ventures was saying that they do quite a bit of work for the Hoff as well. So, and I've tried their links before. So, I'm interested to see. I think you need to have different options, especially for different sites in terms of, how you're going to build your links.
Yep. Exactly. And I think you're right. They probably found you through me because they weren't really paying attention to my YouTube channel, and I was like, "Hey, you got to check out the YouTube channel." So then they started looking around a little bit. And
But yeah,
Amin
they're doing some
asked,
stuff for me on the Wheelbarrow site, which is a new site. So I'm going to be interested to see how that turns out. And of course, everything that happens, I will share with my channel.
very cool. Yeah, they deliver fast, and one hard thing, you probably see this as well, Alex, is when we get a service done, they know that it's us. So
Mm.
I'm pretty sure we get the
You think you get
best
special
work out of.
treatment?
I hope we do, but and I'm afraid that it makes it harder for us to tell like how they perform at scale. But
Yeah.
I have worked with Stan Ventures like I didn't work with him for a while, but I did extensive work with him probably in like 2017, 2018, like, many thousands of dollars of, work with them. So
Okay.
Amin says, how much time do you intend to keep the skyscraper campaign running? So basically ongoing. I'm going to probably keep this running for a while. So the way it works is usually the first month to 6 weeks, they write the content and publish it. You could give your feedback and all that kind of stuff. During that first period of time, they also set up and warm up the email addresses. They get all the technical stuff in place. And then they start sending out a bunch of emails. So I didn't really see any links for the first, I would say, 6 weeks or so. And then they started coming much faster. In the specific package that I have, I think they'll publish something new every quarter, and then they'll do link building for that. They have other packages where they'll publish something like maybe, I can't remember how often, but say every 4 to 6 weeks. So you have like a lot more link building happening, and it's a lot more expensive, but on a per link basis, it's way cheaper than working with, say, the Hoth or even Stan Ventures. So
Yeah. I mean, it's all about quality, isn't it? I'm just talking about link building. Do you do any of your own outreach anymore, or is that like you don't have the time for that because it is such a time-consuming process, isn't it?
only for niche site project and my own brand. So, working with like you or our other friends
Yeah.
out there. But yeah, it's just, at some point it gets boring and it takes a lot of time. And frankly, at this point, I'm just like, I don't really care that much. I'd rather just outsource those sort of trivial, monotonous tasks.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, well, that's the point where I think everyone wants to get to. Is it once you have a little bit of success and a bit of money to play with, then you can start outsourcing your writing and your link building and all that stuff. But when you're starting out, you do it all yourself. But I think that you need to do that, like with any business, you need to do it so that then you can then get other people to do it. You can't get other people to do a task that you've not done yourself.
yeah. And it makes it really hard to tell the quality or the amount of effort. And one thing, because I started from not having any budget to do this, so I was doing almost all the work myself. You end up coming up with your own ideas, your own systems that you could maybe bring skills from your day job or your education or somewhere else, where you come up with a new idea that's a little better than what other people are doing, or put a system in
Yeah.
place, for example. So